Okay, this lesson is on stem changing verbs where the stem will change from O to UE. Now we did some other verbs that changed E to IE and E to I. These will be the ones that will change O to UE. So let's get started. Remember, when we talk about a stem change, we mean the part of the verb that is right before the infinitive ending. So here's the infinitive ending on poder, to be able, and the stem is going to be the POD. So the infinitive ending is ER, the stem is POD. Now with jugar, same thing. AR is going to be your ending to the verb, and the JUG part is going to be your stem. So this syllable that precedes the ending is considered your stem. Even if this verb had a lot of syllables before that, it's still going to be the one right before. Same with poder. If it had several syllables before, it's still going to be the syllable right before the verb ending. Alright, so let's take the verb poder and we'll start with that. Remember that these verbs are going to be shoe verbs, so we're going to pretend there's actually a shoe here. We're going to draw a little shoe. Alright, that's what we mean by shoe verb or a boot verb. In this case, poder, to be able, will change to puedo, puedes, puede, podemos, podéis, which we don't need, used only in Spain, remember, so you're not going to have to know that one, and pueden. Alright, so the stem changed in the yo form, the tu form, the él, ellos, usted form, and the ellos, ellas, ustedes form. It did not change in the nosotros form. This O goes back to the infinitive vowel, which was the stem in the infinitive, the POD. So that's where this O comes from. That's where this O comes from also. The verb jugar is an AR verb, but again, it doesn't matter whether it's ER or AR. It's a stem changing verb, not an ending change. So this is regular endings for an ER verb: O, ESE, EMOS, and EN. These are regular endings for an AR verb: O, as, a, amos, an. Alright, so take the verb jugar. This again is going to be in the shape of a shoe, and we'll do the best we can here. There's our shoe or verb. Alright, this verb is jugar. It's going to become juego, yo juego, tú juegas, él, ella, usted juega, nosotros jugamos. We don't need this one, that's only in Spain. And then ellos, ellas, ustedes juegan. So this U has changed to UE, UE, UE in every part that's in the shoe, but outside of the shoe, again, that U is going to go back to the infinitive. Okay, so that's how the O to UE and U to UE stem change verbs are done. Now some other verbs that we will have, or you already know, will be costar, which is going to be O to UE, recordar, O to UE, and volver, O to UE. And again, it doesn't matter if it's an AR verb or an ER verb, it's in the stem it's in the stem, so COST, RECORD, and so forth. It's in the stem that this change will take place. Alright, so let's take volver shoe. We don't need the word shoe here, so let's take the verb volver. Alright, so the verb volver, which means to return. So you want to say, I return, vuelvo. You return, vuelves. He, she, usted vuelve. Nosotros volvemos, and ustedes, ellos, ellas vuelven. Again, your endings are regular ER endings. So here's your infinitive ER. Here are your endings E, ES, E, and we have amos, and we have EN. So those are our infinitive. Our infinitive ending is ER, so we have O, S, E, amos, and N. And again, here's the shoe. Alright, we won't have to do this for each one, but we see the shoe because we have this lovely sneaker right behind it. So you have vuelvo, vuelves, vuelve, volvemos, and vuelven, which is the verb to return. Alright, the verb recordar is to remember. Here's an AR verb, and again the endings are regular AR endings. Let me get another color here. They are regular AR endings. Alright, so we have o, as, a, amos, an, but we're not concerned with the ending. We're only concerned with the part that comes right before it, and that is called our stem. Remember, the stem is always the part right before the ending. So we have recuerdo, recuerdas, recuerda, recordamos, and recuerdan. Alright, your stem change takes place in the shoe, in the shoe. And again, use the sneaker as an example here. Recordamos is outside of the shoe. Jugar. Now this is a U to UE stem changing verb, but again the principle is the same. It's going to be within the shoe. Juego, juegas, juega, jugamos, and juegan. An AR verb, jugar, means to play. Now costar is interesting because costar is only going to have two forms. Costar is just like gustar and faltar and encantar. So all those verbs where the subject is going to be after the verb. So we say that this thing or these things cost. So if I have one thing and I have another thing and then I have another thing and I have a bunch of subjects, or I have a plural subject, then it's going to be cuestan. But if I only have one thing, cuesta. So, ¿cuánto cuesta el zapato? ¿Cuánto cuestan los calcetines? Let me give you another example with cuesta. ¿Cuánto cuesta el vestido? ¿Cuánto cuestan los zapatos? Alright, so how much do the shoes cost? Cuestan. How much does the dress cost? Cuesta. Alright, let's try a few here. And we'll just, let's try a few here. And here we're just going to see if we can get the answer before it comes up. So let's try to do these before the answers come up. The verb is given in parentheses. Look at your subject. Remember, always you have to look at your subject. Mis amigos y yo, tú. Remember, sometimes the subject is after the verb in the case of a question. So look for the subject, look for the infinitive. It's going to be stem changing. It might not change in this form if it's, for example, we. But look at the ending for your endings. Make sure it's regular AR, ER, and it's either going to be an O to UE or U to UE stem change. So, mis amigos y yo jugamos todo el tiempo. Tú vuelves de la escuela a las 4. ¿Puedes tú jugar a las damas? Manuel juega muy bien al básquetbol. Yo puedo dibujar animales. Ustedes vuelven al gimnasio a las 7. Marta y Jaime no recuerdan cómo jugar al ajedrez. Luis y Paco juegan al fútbol y al voleibol. ¿Cuánto? Remember, if the verb is costar, your subject is over here. ¿Cuánto cuesta esta pelota de básquetbol nueva? Nosotros, remember, nosotros is outside of the shoe, so nosotros podemos jugar a los videojuegos después de hacer la tarea. Okay, if you need to review this video, remember, you have the link for it. Go to YouTube to find this video. Again, this is a presentation by Senora McKenna. You are welcome to go back to it before a quiz, before a test, and please review. If you have any questions, make sure to ask.